right, you ready to go?
Sweet. Yeah, go for it. Let's do it.
This is the College Gamers Podcast for June 4th, 2016. Hello, everyone. This is the College Gamers Podcast. I am your host, Mike, and I am joined every day, well, not every day, every week, by my good friend, the handsome, the talented Taft. Hello, Taft.
Hello, Mike.
How are you today?
I'm doing good, especially after those compliments.
Well, that's the show today, Taft.
Yeah, there we go. Goodbye.
Now, how's your week been, man?
It's been a really good week.
Yeah, you get anything fun done?
Lots of Ark.
Lots of Ark. Ark
Lots
is
of
still
Ark.
fun. You still playing it on PC? On
Yep.
your friend's PC?
Yep. I'm also playing it on my what's it called, Xbox.
Your Xbox?
Yeah.
But y'all can't play together on your Xbox,
no.
right?
I started up on the map, the center.
Oh, wait, you can start in the center now?
Yeah.
I didn't-
We'll start on the center.
I didn't know
I'm
that.
caught. Like I'm all like Xbox is all but caught up.
Okay.
Like the game's about to release and stuff. So
Yeah.
but so I was playing on the center on my Xbox, and I have like level up like the XP's times 3, like just like so I can like cruise through the levels on that one.
I gotcha.
So I'm like, I played for like maybe like 10 hours, and I'm already like level 30.
But is it completely terrifying in the middle of the islands because you're surrounded at that point?
The center is a map.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I mean like, but is it like terrifying in the middle?
I'm not in the middle.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Oh,
The center is a specific map.
Oh, I thought you meant you're on the center of the island in Ark.
No.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Wait, so what's the center like?
It's really different.
Is
It's a
it-
bunch of medium-sized islands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's like an active volcano and stuff. It's really,
That's pretty
It's really
cool.
cool.
Can you collect lava as a resource?
No, but you can get obsidian,
Oh, that's cool.
and there's a lot of metal in that area.
I gotcha.
Also, a lot of death.
Well, this week I just played a bunch of Overwatch. And
Shocker.
Yeah, no surprise there. And just a bunch of Overwatch. Me and Cammy playing with a lot of friends. That game is so much fun with friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also when you're watching the TV show, it's fun with that too. Friends, get it. He's glaring at me, people. I feel kind of endangered for my safety. Well, you want to get into the news because we got some pretty exciting stuff. Oh wait, no. Before we move on, so me and Taff talking about plans for E3. We got a lot of stuff going on, especially these next 2 months. We got a lot of stuff with the 1-year anniversary coming up at the show and E3. So I think, Taff, you were talking about next weekend we're not having a show.
Yes.
So that when E3, because the week before E3,
Nothing's gonna happen.
it's gonna be a barren desert. You
Yeah.
know, I think some other people are holding their own conferences, but
Like the only thing we'd be able to talk about is what the predictions for E3 are.
exactly. So, and you can only sit there and predict for so much.
Exactly.
So next weekend we're not gonna have a show, but then the week after we're gonna have this big E3 thing. I'm having 2 extra people come on. It's gonna be insane. I've never podcasted with more than one other person.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a new experience.
So it's gonna be a circus,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have to ring lead all you people. It's gonna be crazy, bunch of little elephants.
Oh yeah.
So yes, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited, and we're gonna have a lot of fun conversations. The reason why we're skipping a weekend is because the week before there's nothing gonna be happening, but also so we can have an extra long episode the week after. Like I'm thinking we'll be sitting there and talk for 2 hours because I want to like try to touch on at least on all the people. I'm sure people like Bethesda, EA, like the bigger companies, we're probably gonna have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Also with Zelda, I'm excited to see what Nintendo shows at E3.
I'm excited for Bethesda.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I'm waiting for Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, definitely,
Definitely. I'm praying.
Yeah,
Like praying.
yes. Also, do you think they're gonna release another little like? I bet if they talk about
Somebody's gonna do it. Somebody's like, no, we gotta do it. No, we can't let them be the only ones. We gotta do it.
if Bethesda announces a new game, it'd be so hilarious. They were like, if it's a new Elder Scrolls, they're gonna be like, and we have an Elder Scrolls app due today.
And guess what I'd be getting that day.
Yeah. All right. Well, so I think that's it. Yep. So no show next week, but we'll have a super awesome thing the week after, so everyone can look forward to that. But I'll probably pop in next weekend for like 2 minutes, talk about headlines. Something happens.
Yeah, it's something major happens. We'll probably record something. But...
Yeah, like 10 minutes. Be like, this happened. Okay, goodbye. Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's move into the news here. Let's just talk about what happened this week. Breaking news. All right, let's talk about. Let's start off here with Titanfall 2. We have a release window as of now. They're saying EA is saying Titanfall is going to release within 3 weeks of Battlefield 1. And I thought this was significant because when we were talking about Battlefield and Titanfall 2's release date, it was like, what, a week or two ago, Taft?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
I was thinking if they want to take on Call of Duty Infinity War, they're going to sandwich that sucker in between two of EA's releases.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's a possibility because the release window, if you're looking at 3 weeks from Battlefield 1, that's going to be between, so it's like September 30th and November 11th. And Battlefield 1's coming out October 21st. So there's room, like, I think, I bet you Infinity War is going to be in between these two games.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're both shooters, so it's both the same demographic. And they're probably trying to take on... They're probably going to try and take on Call of Duty. Though EA has said they're not comfortable with like conflicting with. They said, "quote not comfortable." They're not uncomfortable with taking on Activision shooter. So they're probably going after them.
Oh yeah,
because the same market thing.
That and Titanfall's amazing.
Oh, Titanfall! Are you excited for Titanfall 2?
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be so slick.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that game. So yeah, we have a release window, and I'm sure we'll get a specific date during E3. I can see that. Also, Taff, you think we're gonna get a trailer at E3?
I hope so. I hope we get a more extended trailer than just the teaser.
Yeah, I bet we get a trailer, and I think
maybe some gameplay.
Yeah, I think there's a strong possibility for gameplay at E3.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So, yeah, it's
gonna
be pretty
show
cool.
off the story a little bit,
Exactly. Are we getting a single player story?
Yes.
Oh, that's gonna be pretty cool with the mechs and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here to
possibly the funniest bit of news we have today.
Yes, I'm so excited to talk about. I'm so happy you found this, Taff. Battlefield 1. EA was concerned kids didn't know that World War I even happens.
Yeah.
So it's certain the title is certainly attention grabbing. Taft, what is this about?
Okay, so apparently, for previous games, for the World War II games and stuff and Vietnam games.
Yeah.
There were apparently some customers who didn't know that either of those happened either.
Well, I think a education system somewhere failed pretty badly.
And so when Sunderland, the head director,
Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
When he first heard about Battlefield 1, he rejected the pitch because he was scared that not many people would know, or none of the younger audience would know about World War I.
Really?
Because honestly, it's the lesser known, it's the lesser talked about war.
It is the Great War that's not as great.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the one that's talked about less because all that it did was lead to World War II.
Exactly, and World War II is one when everyone talks about. That's where all the games are set because it's the more modern of the wars.
That and it affected us more.
It's true. Like we were. Would you say it affected us more because it's just more recent memory?
No, I would say it affected us more because it's established us as a superpower.
That's true.
It's a major part of United States history, so that's why we're taught it more.
Yeah, and we weren't just fighting in Europe during World War II.
Which is World War I primarily took place at that in Northern Africa.
Yeah.
But yeah, this isn't a history podcast, so So yeah, they were really concerned about that. Not many people talk about it, so they didn't want to release it because they weren't sure if people were going to realize it.
Yeah.
That it even happened. But I think it's a really cool idea because, and they talk about this in the article, was how World War I, there was such a giant technological shift in it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be really fun to play. You start off with horses and you end up in planes. You know what I mean?
That's going to be... it's gonna be really cool to handle.
Yeah,
in a game.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. It gives a huge opportunity of window of gameplay and stuff. So
yeah, and I'm glad they saw that because maybe not as many people. It's kind of weird saying this that not as many people know about World War One. I mean, I know about World War One. I know kind of when it happened. I don't know like all the like important like critical, maybe not all the important critical details, but all the details of the war. But I know it happens. I know what the sides were. But I think it's really cool that gives EA a lot to expand on.
Yeah,
that gives them they can introduce all this new cool things that World War II games. Because we have so many. I don't think there's a lot of new twists you can give to a World War II game.
Not at all.
Because everyone's just been just going over them a bunch.
I think possibly the biggest twist you could ever give to a World War II game is zombies.
And have we done that yet? I think we've done that.
Yeah.
I think we've given the World War II zombies.
Like one time.
Yeah. So I think that gives them a lot of room to kind of let the creativity take over.
Yeah.
And do whatever they want to do. So yeah, Taft, you knew about World War One, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of a history buff, so I know a decent bit about it.
Yeah, all right. So I think it's safe to say that most people listening to this know what World War One is. World War One. So, and if you didn't, then you should play this game because you might learn something.
Yeah, that or open up a history book.
That's true.
I don't mean to be insulting, but really, come on.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the ex-Lionhead devs announced a free-to-play card game based in the Fable universe. It's called Fable Fortune, and it's currently on Kickstarter because since Microsoft dropped them, they're probably now looking for funding for the current endeavors. Apparently, they've been working on this for a few years now. I watched not really gameplay, but the Kickstarter video does show gameplay.
Yeah.
I see Hearthstone. I find it's very similar to Hearthstone.
It's almost exact. In fact, I would say it's exactly like Hearthstone, except for it's Fable.
Yeah. Say like the different universe. There might be slightly different mechanics. There is everyone has like attack and health, and Hearthstone didn't make that, but they're
the major one right now.
Exactly. And now since Hearthstone came out, we've had other games like what is Bethesda's card game based on the
Skyrim one.
Legends? Skyrim no, it's Elder Scrolls Legends or something?
I'm gonna look that up real quick.
I gotcha. So it looks like that. And the Kickstarter right now
yes, Elder Scrolls Legends.
Elder Scrolls Legends, I gotcha. And so it's currently in Kickstarter. They have a video that shows some of the basic mechanics. Like they're looking to get more funded. They'll eventually have a closed beta, and over time, if they get enough funding, they want to go into a more open beta. The Kickstarter does run until June 28th, so you still have time if you're interested. Go check it out. They spent several. It looks like they spent like over a year working on it before Fable was closed by Microsoft. So
it's pretty close to done then, because I wouldn't imagine it takes that long to make one of these games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sure most of the creating this game is probably mechanics.
Yeah,
trying to figure out how everything's balanced. It does. It looks a lot like Hearthstone's basic formula. I'll say right now, I'm a Blizzard fanboy, so I might be a little biased, but it does look the same. Yeah, so
I'm not a Blizzard fanboy, and I say the same thing. So,
if you are familiar with Hearthstone, this might be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
and it's really cool that there's still some devs working on it. And the two guys in the Kickstarter video were British, I noticed, and everyone and when Lionhead closed, they were talking about how the American studio was closed,
but not UK,
not the UK. So I'm thinking maybe the UK guys are still active,
probably
working on some stuff. Well, also, they have the rights to this now. Apparently, Microsoft gave them permission to use a Fable license, but they're not financially supporting them. And so that's probably why they went to Kickstarter for the help.
Probably, and they'll probably get a lot of support for it.
Yes. So they're looking for a closed beta a few weeks after the campaign ends. And again, it ends on June 28th. Also, after the closed beta, they're going to have an open beta on PC and Xbox One. And they're hoping for a full release sometime in 2017. So, something to look forward to, Taft?
Honestly, I probably won't pick up this game.
No. Are you big on card games?
If it's Gwent.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you are big on card games, including Gwent.
I'm big on a card game.
That's true. But like, have you ever picked up Hearthstone?
Yeah, I tried it. It was okay. I wasn't crazy about it, but it was okay.
Yeah, I'm not super crazy about it either.
It's a good thing to kill time with, you know?
Exactly. Like, between classes at LSU, it's always pretty nice.
Exactly, yeah.
Because the games are usually pretty quick.
Yeah.
So, so I'll be keeping an eye on this. See if anyone starts yelling Hearthstone killer. All right, moving on to Injustice Gods Among Us 2 in development. Taft.
Yes.
I read this. I was like, Taft. When the first Injustice came out, that's all you were going on about. You really liked the first one.
I did. I played it a lot.
So what's going on here?
So there have been like rumors.
Okay.
That information from unnamed sources.
Whispers in the wind, you would say.
Exactly. That NetherRealm Studios is working on a sequel to Injustice Gods Among Us.
Interesting.
The basically like Mortal Kombat style fighting game.
Yes, of superheroes.
Yeah, except for it's in the DC universe.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So they're saying that it'll be made for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC.
Okay.
And that the release window is they're aiming for March 2017.
Nice. That's
from this unnamed source or these unnamed sources, they're getting a lot of information.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we might see something about this at E3.
If it's March 2017, I bet we get a trailer.
Yeah,
or an official announcement.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get something at E3. So, but yeah, so nobody said anything, like neither NetherRealms nor Warner Brothers, which is the publisher.
So no one's confirmed anything.
Not a word of it.
I gotcha.
And like they haven't even they wouldn't state about it or anything. So I think that they're gonna do something with it.
I can see. Yeah, like with the E3 around the corner, they're probably gonna let this simmer in the pot and then just like throw everything else out.
Yeah, and the last game they made was Mortal Kombat X, so they've had time to be working on something.
I gotcha. Did you finish Injustice?
I did. I beat the story.
Do they have room for a second one? Like, did they end the first Injustice with kind of a cliffhanger for a second game?
Kinda, not really.
Kinda.
They could not actually. Yeah, they did kind of, sort of. Like, it ends. It's been out for 2 years now, so I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. It ends with Batman tossing Superman into like one of the mirrors in like his in the
isolation house, whatever he calls it, home of isolation.
This solitude area.
I gotcha. So did
Fortress of Solitude? That's it.
Ah, there you go.
And so he's trapped inside one of the mirrors, which is kind of like what Zod is. Like a lot of Superman's enemies are trapped. It's like a prison.
I see.
So if you break the mirror, I think they come out.
Oh.
So that might somebody might break the mirror or something like that, and Superman comes out all pissy.
I see.
We'll see what happens though.
Gosh, you break. All right. So you break the mirror, all the bad people come out, and you get 7 years of bad luck.
Yeah, it's
wow.
Bad.
That's.
I mean, I guess in this case, you break the mirror and Superman comes out all pissy. It's a lot more than 7 years of bad luck.
Your bad luck starts right there.
Exactly. Like, it'll probably end right there too, because your life will probably end.
Yeah. So that's what, like 30 seconds of bad luck.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you looking forward to this?
Yeah. I'll probably pick this up later when the price goes down on it. Once they announce it and it comes out, because it's a while. Mm-hmm. But I'll probably grab it at one point just because I like the DC universe.
Yeah.
And Green Arrow is my man.
Green Arrow.
Yep.
Yeah, they mostly talk about how the Joker was behind most of Injustice, right?
Yes. The Joker caused Superman to hallucinate, thinking that Doomsday was attacking the city.
Yeah.
And when it was actually Lois Lane, who had a detonator attached to her heart.
Oh gosh.
To a nuclear bomb. And when her heart stopped, the bomb exploded, and Superman accidentally killed Lois Lane, who was pregnant with this kid.
Oh, geez. Wow.
Yeah, and then after that, Superman busts up into the jail cell where the Joker is and rips his heart out with his bare hand.
I remember that. I read.
I don't remember. Actually, no, he doesn't rip his heart out. He just punches straight through his chest.
Yeah. I remember reading the comics, and the comics are really good. And apparently they're still going on, but they're set to end this year.
Really?
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Also, did you know they have an Injustice mobile game?
Yes, I did.
I did not know that.
I played it.
Have you played? You played it?
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was okay.
It was okay. I got you. All right. Well, again, what is this coming out for?
This is coming if it's announced, and if it actually does come out, because it's just rumors at this point. It'll be coming out in March 2017 on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
All right. So everyone's getting it, but Wii U. Just saying. Not Wii U. Sorry.
Wii U doesn't get anything.
It's true. Hey, they get Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, but do we get Nintendo stuff? No,
Probably
we
not.
don't.
Probably not. All right, moving on here to some Overwatch stuff.
Oh, shocker.
Yeah. So Overwatch is coming when it was first, like the early alpha, when it was first teased and everyone was playing, like all the, mostly streamers and people got in. That's, I'm not saying it was a conspiracy, but there's a conspiracy. There was competitive play. Like there was a competitive play mode. Like you had a rank to your character. But when the open beta started, there was no competitive, and a lot of people were wondering, like, are we going to get it when the game officially launches? What's going on with that? But apparently there are some tweets sent out this week saying that we will be getting Overwatch competitive play in late June. Now they said they were aiming for late June. It's very possible that they like decide they're done, or not that they're done, but it needs more work, so they'll move later. But they're targeting for late June. So that's for all you people who want to be competitive in Overwatch and actually get ranks for it. You'll be able to start in June, and that's pretty exciting because quick play is fun. It's a good feel to kind of get to know the characters and how they play, but it's gonna be nice to kind of like play competitively and see where I stand in the ranking of players.
Yeah,
and when it comes to Overwatch, I find that I have good games and I have bad games. This week, actually, right after the interview with Garrett on Wednesday. By the way, I don't know if you mentioned that in the early beginning of the show.
We didn't.
Oh, by the way, everyone, announcement in the middle of the show. The interview with Garrett will be at the end of the show. Instead of what are we playing? Anyway, when I was talking to Garrett, like right after that segment, I played a game with Roadhog, and I got MVP of the game, with 90% of the game on fire, which means you're doing well and like you're doing a good job. So, which is really hard to get. I rarely see MVP. So it's gonna be nice, but like I have games like that, but I also have games where, as Roadhog, I don't land any of my hooks. I die all the time. So it's going to be interesting to see, like, on average, where do I stand with other players?
Yeah.
And that's going to be cool to see. So I'm pretty excited about competitive play. And also because, it's just fun to be competitive.
Oh, yeah.
Yell when you lose, that kind of thing. Darn you, Tracer! All right, moving on here to Ark Survival. Got an update this week.
It did.
Taft, what dinosaur did we get this week?
We got two. Well, one dinosaur and one parasite.
One parasite? All right.
We actually got a lot. This is actually a really big update.
And why was it so big?
It actually was an entire, what's it called?
Anniversary?
Yeah, it was the anniversary one.
Yeah.
But, and it was so big, and it's big because of that, but what makes it so big is the fact that we got... The dragon was added as a boss to be able to fight.
Okay.
It was already there, but it like added the arena and stuff. I don't know exactly what it added because I've yet to fight a boss.
Yeah.
But it said that it added a lot of stuff to the dragon.
What is the dragon?
The dragon is exactly what it sounds like. It's a dragon.
It's a dragon?
It's an actual dragon.
So is it the only thing that's not a dinosaur in the game?
The broodmother's not a dinosaur.
Oh, I forgot. What is the broodmother?
She's like a giant spider.
Giant spider. Okay. Is that the thing that activates when you find all the pillars? Yeah. Okay.
It's a boss thing, and there's also the Megapithecus. Yeah, Megapithecus, which is like the giant, like what looks like cybernetic ape.
I've never faced one of those.
Yeah, it's a boss thing. You have to find, like, it's the same as the broodmother. You have to
go out and like actively find it.
Yeah, find a portal and stuff like that, or like find the stuff to make the portal.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight robot monkeys.
And then there's the dragon.
Awesome.
So there's that. But also, since it's the birthday, they added like birthday candles.
Ooh.
You can find birthday candles at like supply drops and stuff.
Oh, that you said, but can you make them too?
I don't know.
Are they just fancy torches?
No.
No.
What they are is when they say when the birthday candles are blown out. So like I guess at the end of this,
Yeah.
it's gonna give you a bunch of different prizes.
Ooh, that's cool.
That range from hats, like birthday hats for your dinosaur,
Yeah.
to birthday hats for you, to your birthday suit. So you run around naked,
Buck naked. So
buck
anyone,
naked, but with censorship. Don't worry.
I got it. So anyone in the northern ice realm, I don't recommend this as clothing for your character.
You there's also gonna be cake, which will give you a major XP buff.
Really?
Yeah,
That's really cool. That's a cool way to do it.
That's gonna be nice. But the like we were saying about the dinosaur, because that's what everybody wants to hear about. Everybody wants to hear about the dinosaurs. They added one called the Diplodocus.
I'm really impressed right now that you said that the way you did. That was impressive. I couldn't say that in a million years.
That paleontology class really paid off. Like, I can sit there and I can be like, oh, I can tell you I can tell you that's from the Sauricia family. That's a Ceratopsia.
All right, stop showing off, Taft. All right, get back to the dinosaur.
So the Diplodocus, which is a sauropod, it's the smallest of the sauropods, actually, in the game at least. It's still really freaking big. It can still hold 10 people.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
It's a big dinosaur.
It's basically just a smaller version of the Brontosaurus.
Yeah.
So, what it does, like what makes this thing special for the Brontosaurus is, well, one, it's smaller.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier to tame and eat like faster with greater endurance. But also they're super easy to train. Like, and knock out, because you can attack it all you want and it will not run away. It won't attack you. Nothing. It just sits there and takes it.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
like a man.
Yeah, it's described as a really trusting animal.
Yeah.
And it'll only run away from animals who have attacked it like multiple times.
I see.
So it's
does it
kind of stupid.
So do the animals individually learn over time or something? Is that what they're saying?
No. Like the single animal, like say like a Carno like rams it twice. It's like, you know what, you're kind of mean. I'm gonna go away now.
Stop bullying me,
like
guys.
I was trying to be your friend. Like
yeah.
And so he runs away.
That's super handy. So,
but it's really funny because it looks like the saddle for it with the 10 people looks like a giant bus. Like it looks like it actually holds 11 people.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
It looks like one driver and then like 10 passengers.
Yeah.
So
basically you can go on like a field trip now.
Exactly. Like there's one driver sitting there driving it.
Yeah.
And then there's 5 people on the sides looking out to the sides who can just sit there and just like
and
shoot
as they drive through the forest, they're looking out the window trying to get other animals to honk.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Exactly. And then like I said, they added a parasite. They added a leech to the game.
Ew.
Whose complete and only purpose is to either poison you, like with like an actual disease that will stay on you until you get the antidote, like permanently.
Wow.
It doesn't always happen when you get hit by a leech, but
there's a chance to be poisoned.
It has a chance. They can't be tamed, and if they attack you, like they're gonna drain your blood.
Oh, great.
But the only thing that they're useful for is making the antidote to the poison that they give you.
So you need to get the leeches so that you can not be poisoned, but in getting the leeches, you'll be poisoned?
Exactly, pretty much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how do you remove them? Does your character just pull them off? Or
what it says is you need removing the leeches, the name for the leeches.
Yeah.
Requires precision blade work and access to an open flame.
Okay, so you can just like burn them off or something.
Yeah.
So if I stand next to my cooking fire, they'll fall off by themselves.
I guess, or like somebody walks up to you with a torch and like hits you with it or something like that.
Just hit me with the torch.
Do it.
That doesn't sound like a good idea. Just do it.
Just do it.
Trust me, I'm a doctor. I'm a medieval doctor.
So yes, but also what probably is the most important thing, to me at least, that this update added, is it changed the map.
It changed like the island that you're on?
Yeah.
What did it change?
The frozen biome, the tundra biome, has expanded.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. It took over like that little area to the east.
Yeah.
Of it, and then also, in the dead center of the map now is a giant redwood forest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm so excited to see it.
Oh,
man. It's just really far inland, and I'm super scared to go inland.
I'm going to have to crank up Ark tonight now. There goes all my Overwatch.
Come on, you
time.
can hop on with me and my buddy.
Sounds like fun. We can all go to our deaths together.
Okay. I know we're not doing who you're playing, but I have to tell this story.
All right, you know what? Go ahead. Just
Okay.
say it.
I'm talking about going to our death. So, a couple days ago.
Thunder, woohoo!
Yeah, a couple days ago, we were playing, and we got on a boat.
Okay.
And we killed an alpha raptor, and we were super excited.
Nice.
And then we ran away.
Okay.
And a Sarco glitched onto our boat and destroyed everything on our boat. We had so much on the boat. We had like 4 containers.
Oh no! It
a fire. All of it? It didn't destroy the boat, but it destroyed all the boat. I mean, everything on the boat.
Oh no!
And then it killed us.
Oh no!
So we lost the boat. Well,
Oh,
we made
no.
another boat and
Okay.
went on a mission to go get the other boat because we're planning on moving. And we're like, you know what? We'll use that boat as a transport for our animals,
Okay.
and we can use the other boat as like the ferry for like all our resources.
Yeah.
So that happened. And we went and got the boat, and we're like, yeah, good day. And then we're like, okay, we're going to go scout out where we're going to move to next. We want to move to a more dangerous area because we're finally at that point where we can do that. We can kill some better stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You're progressing.
Exactly, yeah. And so we finally got a battle mount. We got a scorpion.
Okay.
That's so fun. If you can get a scorpion, get a scorpion.
Okay, I'll do
It's a
that.
really cool mount.
Where are they found?
We found ours on a beach to the west, but I've seen quite a few of them on like near the marsh area to the east.
Okay.
And so we're on our way there, and we see another alpha raptor. We're like, oh yeah, we're gonna take him out.
Oh no.
And we get him. We're like so close, and he starts running away from us, which means he's almost dead.
Okay.
And so we're like, okay, yeah. And he runs into a rock and gets stuck. And we're like,
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're done,
no.
son. And we load like another 10 arrows into him, which we're like, okay, you should be dead by now. And as I'm notching the 11th arrow, which is probably going to be the one that kills him, you know,
Yeah.
it's my luck right here.
Yeah.
He breaks physics and just busts out the rock and wrecks our shop. Just killed us both like that, son.
How did they do that?
I don't know.
So seriously,
Raptors just break physics in this game.
welcome to the PC version of Ark, where
Yeah.
it's just not quite as good as the
And
console
so-
version right now.
It's not.
It's not near as pretty. It's not near as
It's not-
optimized.
and
That's
it
the
doesn't
issue.
run nearly as well.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend who has a really good gaming computer. It's not you. And
Even though I have a good gaming computer.
yeah, it's not
Yes.
you. And he still runs like at like 30 frames per second.
Oh yeah, no. It's just not optimized for
Not at
PC
all.
right now.
And so yeah, so that happened. And now when we play tonight, because we're probably gonna play tonight, we're gonna our mission for the night is gonna be to retrieve the old boat again.
Retreat the. Now you go get the other 2 boats. Are they both gone?
No, it was only one boat. We brought the other one back and left out to go scout on the on the boat that had nothing on it. So we're like that way nothing can get lost.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
So we're gonna do that again today.
I got you. All right. Well, thank you for the story taps.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Let's
Avoid alpha raptors. Don't get cocky.
yeah, that's always a good idea.
Moral of the story.
Anything with alpha in it is usually pretty dangerous. Let's move on here to Watch Dogs 2. Is officially Ubisoft officially said that it's going to have an E3 presentation. So they confirmed that Watch Dogs 2 will be appearing at E3 in their press conference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever
Not
play?
even. I just
No?
like it. I love Watch Dogs for one reason.
Why?
Okay, so there's an Easter egg in the game.
Oh, it's this. Okay.
This game takes place. All Ubisoft's games take place in the same universe. Like even like Far Cry and all that.
Really?
All of them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can find an Abstergo lab in Far Cry 3.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
But at the end, or not at the end, but one of the assassination missions that you have to do in Watch Dogs of all games, not Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Your dude has to help the assassins. That it only makes sense because one of the guys that he attacks
Yeah.
is the head of Abstergo Entertainment in Assassin's Creed 4.
Whoa.
He leaves to go on a at the end of the game in Assassin's Creed 4. He's leaving to go on a business trip
Oh my gosh.
in like
What?
San Francisco or wherever Watch Dogs takes place.
Yeah.
And while you're there, what you do while he's there, go to Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
Your dude stops his car. You can look at who it is, and it will say CEO of Abstergo Entertainment.
Oh gosh.
And then you put a bullet in his head. Like
Holy cow. Oh, this case has been broken wide open by chat.
mind blown, people.
Oh, dude. I didn't know they were all the
And
same
guess who
universe.
you have not seen in the past 2 Assassin's Creed games?
What?
That guy.
Holy cow.
Because he's dead.
Jeez, that's pretty cool. You know, I played Watch Dogs for a little bit. You know, when it first came out on PC, it didn't do so well because it wasn't like it was a bad PC port.
Yeah, see,
originally,
a friend of mine had it.
Yeah,
and he liked it. I just never like. I was gonna get it, but then he's like, it kind of gets old after a while, and I was like,
it kind of did. It kind of did. Like, and the driving mechanics weren't super great.
Like,
either.
I might get it now.
Yeah,
just because it's probably like $20 now.
Oh, it's probably super cheap.
Exactly. So I might go ahead and grab it one day and just.
Yeah, and I could probably play it now. When I first got it, it was pretty like laggy, just because it was kind of a rough launch.
Yeah.
So and I used AMD, and I think Nvidia at the time was having a heyday with that. Anyway, moving on. So it's very possible that they released all this because it's possible their main character was leaked for the game. So they might have felt a little pressure, saying like, yes, we're going to officially, announce at the press conference. Cause you know, usually companies don't do this. Usually like, you know, E3 is like, I mean, like Bethesda's like, yes, we'll be at E3. We won't tell you what we're talking about. Like a lot of companies are like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, yeah, like they got outed. So like their stuff was leaked. So like, yeah.
Yeah.
Watch us. Like,
but
we're not going to say anything about the game. We're just going to say that we're going to have it.
Exactly. But I feel like they should have just let the leak do its thing
and caused interest. Yeah.
And not officially said we're not going to talk about, like, don't officially say what you're going to talk about and let the leak kind of like get the excitement going.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But at the same time, you know, now that people officially know what they're going to talk about, there might be some excitement there.
Yeah. I think like people like Watch Dogs fans would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
You're a son, Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think I've ever met a guy who was a huge fan of Watch Dogs.
I'm sure they're out there.
It's not really talked about anymore.
Remember that game that we talked about, like Dungeon Defenders or whatever? That was doing Ark. I bet you there's people that love that game.
some weird niche. They're recording their Dungeon Defenders podcast right now.
Real quick, time out. I was listening to a podcast about Ark just to learn some stuff about it, and they were talking about the
lawsuit.
Lawsuit. And one of the guys on there had played the game, and he was like, the only reason I played it was because it was free on Xbox, and I played it for like twice. He's like, there is no competition. Like,
yeah, exactly. They're two different demographics, and we talked about that. The demographics are completely different.
Exactly.
So yeah, Watch Dogs 2 officially confirmed. For some reason, it's a big deal that it got a new logo. It's like the old Watch Dog. I don't even know what type of symbol that is. It's like a V under like on top of a W. It has a 2 next to the bottom, like a subscript 2. So for those who are really into logos, there's your little piece of candy for today.
Yep.
And yeah, so apparently some gift boxes went out full of Watch Dogs stuff. I guess mine's waiting in the mail, right? I mean, Ubisoft, you're gonna send all this to people.
Yeah.
Where's ours, man? Where's ours?
I want it.
So yeah, you know, I occasionally I find myself looking through my Steam library and seeing Watch Dogs.
Just gotta pick it back up.
Yeah, like I should finish the game. I didn't get very far.
Mike, you know what we need to do next year? This just popped in my head.
All right, good. Good idea. All right, come on, let's go.
Next year, we need to apply for press passes to E3.
You know how many times I looked at the website and considered it?
We need to do it, dude.
No, but in order to even apply for press passes, you need to go through, like, I guess their business card, who you work for.
Let's do it.
It's a pain in the butt. But like next
year we just do it.
We should do it, and just for any other press conferences.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen, but we'll post.
Like one day we're going to get one back. Like, sure, come on. And we're
like,
let's
go. I actually did enter. There's a contest by some, I forget, I think it was one of the journalists. Like game journal websites. Okay. And it was E3 ticket contest. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna enter this. Like, it was for 2 tickets. And I was like, if we win,
we're going.
Yeah. We probably won't win, but if we do,
we didn't win.
No, we didn't win. If we do though, like if we'd won those tickets, I would have just bought like the maximum amount of storage on our hosting and just record everything.
Just walk around with like our phones recording it. So yeah, this is awesome.
This is awesome. Like, we wouldn't actually record. We actually wouldn't actually report any news. We'd just be like, guys, This is life changing.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Do you see those booth babes, son?
All right. Well, that's it for the news this week.
Yeah,
and again, I'm just gonna attach the.
So that's it for the show this week.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw this segment onto the back. So yeah, we'll do some early ending stuff here. So Taft, where can people find you on Twitter?
They can find me on Twitter at TaftFaust8.
Awesome. You can find me on Twitter at BlueCows with the Z, and you can contact the show through the email collegegamershow@gmail.com. And I think that's it.
That's it.
All right. And for everyone listening live, we are going to, like, if you want to listen to the segment with Garrett talking about Overwatch, which is totally awesome. Should have said more about it in the beginning. Check out the actual download, not the live, like, so like, it won't be on the live version because I won't play it live. So yeah, check out the download. Bah. That's it. All right.
Sweet.
All right, Taft. Well, I'll see you next week. Actually, I won't see you next week. No show next week, people. That's right. Cry. All right. So, but next time you hear from us, it's going to be an awesome E3 episode.
That one's going to be like twice as long. It's going to be like 2-hour episode or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank y'all for listening, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Peace out, yo.
Later. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another interview segment for the show. It is my pleasure today to introduce Garrett Weinzierl of Overwatchers fame. What else do you do all over the internet?
So many things, Mike. Really, you can find it all over at amove.tv. That's the home base for most of my podcasts.
I gotcha. And you do Overwatchers. How long has that been going on for?
We actually started, it's funny because usually when my podcasts go on this long, there's an obscene amount of episodes. But Overwatchers is unique in that we started it the week after Patrick and I got back from BlizzCon of 2014, which is, if you remember, that's when Overwatch was announced.
Yes.
We were ecstatic. Patrick was actually just finishing working for Blizzard in France.
Oh, wow.
So he was actually not allowed to do podcasts about Blizzard products. This is one thing you can't do when you work at Blizzard. You can't do like a fan podcast about Blizzard stuff.
It makes sense. Makes sense.
Conflict of interest. I get that. You might accidentally slip up, say something you weren't supposed to say. We'll find out what the color of the bathrooms are at Blizzard France. We don't need to know that.
Yeah.
But, so, cause I usually have this rule. It's like, well, if I'm going to do a show about one specific game, I don't start that show until I can play the game. So Overwatch was this really unique outlier where I was so excited, and my friend Patrick, who I'd been wanting to work with forever, was so excited. We were kind of like, well, let's just do it. Who cares? So we did it, and we just did episodes whenever there was a big kind of news outpouring. So obviously there was a big news outpouring right after it was released. And then after, I think the following PAX East, they had announced McCree and Zarya. And I believe a new map. I may be mistaken on that. So we did another episode after that. I believe we did an episode after Junkrat and Roadhog were announced. And there were interstitial episodes within there. And then it kind of just went on hiatus until the closed beta started, and Patrick and I were fortunate enough to get in there. And then we kind of just continued bi-weekly up until launch.
Awesome.
Yeah. So technically we've been doing it for like 3 years, but there's only about 21 episodes.
I gotcha. So kind of sporadic so far.
Yeah, exactly. So now that it's launched, we're going weekly, at least for a little while. Then we're going to go back to bi-weekly.
Awesome. Can't wait. Well, I wanted to do a segment with you, kind of focusing at new players because you got into it was early alpha. Was that what you were calling it?
I guess it was. Was it the alpha stage? I don't even remember anymore, man. Blizzard, there's been so many testing phases for Blizzard. But yeah, I was in the closed beta, and if it was called the alpha before that, which I honestly do not remember, I was in that as well.
I gotcha. So you're obviously more experienced than most people just now getting into the game. So I want to talk to you about tips for new players, and I understand a lot of it is going to be circumstantial and how the player, like, depending on the player's play style and kind of thing. But
you sound remarkably like me on Overwatchers. When we start talking about strategy, we do all of this setup. Like, we can hear the emails being typed, guys. We're about to talk about this in a more general, average gamer, what your pickup games are looking like on your Saturday night. That's where we usually come from on that show, and I think that's where we're going to be taking this.
Yeah. I think it's a safe bet to say. So let's start off here. Do you have 3 tips kind of that you can put over the entire game?
Over the entire game?
Yeah. Like the most broad advice to give.
Oh, well,
don't dying maybe.
I think my overarching one to everyone is like, don't be afraid to try new heroes, because I'm still surprised. If you we just recorded an episode last night, and if you listen to that episode, you'll hear me talking about how surprised I am by how much I like Roadhog, because I more or less ignored him during the testing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it just didn't appeal to me. I didn't want to be a fat dude with an outie belly button and hacking up coffin all the time. It just didn't appeal to me as it didn't appeal to the role player inside of me. And then I was like, well, let me give him a shot, and realized I was halfway decent at landing hooks, and it was a lot of fun to play. And I have had that experience time and time again as I kind of get over whatever my personal hangup was with a hero and just tried them. Yeah. Same thing happened with Symmetra. Turns out I love Symmetra. At first I was like, well, you gotta lay turrets. You can't actually heal. You just throw shields on everybody. Turns out the shields are amazing. And then you got to figure out the teleporter. But I really, it's hysterical, because I've seen on the subreddit this week discussions where people are talking about how they're already getting they're getting flamed in the chat. It's like, oh well, you're like level 6 and I'm level 25, and why aren't you playing as well as you should be? And it's like, well, first of all, the levels are not an indication of skill.
Yeah.
And second, the game's been out for barely over a week. Let's all calm down, have a good time, let everyone learn the game. How does that sound? So I really think haters gonna hate. Get out there, try the heroes you want to try, get out of your comfort zone, try the heroes you don't think you're gonna like. And just experience the game. Give yourself a nice, open that Overwatch cornucopia and just sample everything.
Mm-hmm. So that's really good. That's what I try to do. I try to play a little bit of all the heroes, try to figure out which ones I like, because as you play more, you'll kind of naturally play, I think, the characters you're more attracted to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I noticed the same thing when I first started getting into MOBAs. It also helps, even if you don't, even if you try one and you don't find out that you like them, at least now you know how they play, which will help you know how to counter them.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we go any further, the game's been out for almost a week. Are you enjoying it?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Actually, it's funny you ask, because I feel like a switch has been flipped. I played it a decent amount during the beta, but something about knowing I don't keep my levels, I don't keep my skins, all this progression was going to be lost. I didn't just dive in hog wild, and now every free second I have, Mike, I just want to get back in and play Overwatch.
It's true. I spent my 3-day weekend just pounding in the hours. It really is a lot of fun. Well, let's move on here to more specific topics. Offense. I noticed, and this is kind of like a general thing, I noticed that the offense heroes kind of they work better close up. Is that just me?
I think it depends on the hero. I think maybe overall you're not mistaken. I feel like many of them are really good up close, but then you've got someone like Soldier who
That's true.
He can do pretty well from medium to long range. That rocket is just as potent from halfway across the map as it is right up in your face.
It's true.
And like you said earlier, there's always caveats and whatnot, but and Pharah as well is very much a long range hero, and Genji's actually got a pretty decent range on him as well. And I don't know if you watched Agents Rising over the weekend, but I watched some of that, and dude, these pro players were making McCree look like a sniper. It was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I forgot about McCree. He's a lot of fun. I still trying to figure him out.
Yeah, it was funny in testing. He was way stronger at long range. They reined him in quite a bit because the early tournaments that were popping up in during the early stages of the closed beta, McCree was just dominating because his range was basically a sniper's range. And it's like, well, you don't have a scope, but you put it in the hands of a trained pro shooter player, and you don't need one.
Oh, definitely. Well, talking about offensive here. Do you have any general tips for offensive play?
Yeah, actually, the thing it's funny because we've talked about on the show that the thing that's kind of cool about a game like Overwatch, where it is objective based, is it helps kind of guide the action. And if you're newer to shooters, that's actually kind of nice. It's like, well, I don't know where I should be. What should I be doing? It's like, well, we'll probably fight on and around the objective. That's probably a safe bet. And I think with a lot of the offense characters, don't be afraid to get a little further away from the objective.
Yeah.
I'm not, don't go like spawn camp or whatever, unless it's working out for you. I'm not going to judge it, but, the thing, it's kind of this idea of clearing the area around, because chances are if you've got heroes like Tracer or Reaper on the enemy team and you have them on your team, they're going to be trying to sneak around. They're going to be trying to get in your back line, especially someone like, even McCree, at least when his ultimate is ready, when High Noon is ready, a good McCree is going to want to try and get where your team's not paying attention, which most likely will be from behind or to the side.
Yeah.
So they're not going to stand in the middle of the objective and try and do that. So if you're also a McCree or a Reaper or a Tracer, and you see them trying to maneuver, go off after them. That's in a way that's sort of your job is to clear the sides and keep the area, clear for your team. But also don't be afraid to jump back into the fight, get on the point if it's getting pushed and join the fray.
I got you. Well, do you have any recommendations for offensive characters? Soldier 76 was the first one to come to my head.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a newer player, if you have any, like, I'm talking like the most minute experience with shooters, I think Soldier will immediately feel at home to you. You've got a fully automatic, assault rifle. You've got a rocket launcher on a relatively short cooldown. And the thing for me more than anything is the sprint. He has a sprint button. It never runs out. There's no fatigue system where if you use it too long, you have to wait a while to sprint again. You can just sprint indefinitely. You can't shoot while you're sprinting, but it doesn't matter. It's a good way to get you around. And then on top of that, he has a heal that not only works for himself, but also works for your teammates. And I would also recommend that if you're playing Soldier, if you find yourself playing a lot of Soldier and you want to be even more helpful, you can go into your menu system and you can turn on allied health bars specifically for Soldier 76. There's a little drop-down menu.
Oh.
It's under hotkeys. You wouldn't think it would be, but it's under hotkeys.
Yeah.
And you can turn that on and you'll be able to see your allies' health. So you can throw down your AoE healing effect, not just for yourself.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. It's pretty handy.
Yeah. I stumbled across it on the Reddit earlier this week.
Oh, that's pretty handy. You know who's really annoying if they're a really good player? Tracer.
Yes.
Tracer. A good Tracer player is impossible to hit. In my opinion, I just can't get the Tracer. I can't get my aimer on them.
Well, and you were saying you were trying to wrap your head around McCree, and McCree, sir, is phenomenal at dealing with the Tracer, especially if there's any of his buddies around as well, because McCree has this flashbang, which you don't even need to hit dead on. It has a small area of effect around it.
Yeah.
So you can throw it near the Tracer, you will stun the Tracer, and during that small window of McCree's stun from his flashbang, she can't recall, she can't blink. So McCree has been tuned again. There's a bit of a delay from when he flows his flashbang to where he can shoot again, so you have to be absolutely on top of it to get the kill solo as McCree. But if any of your friends are there, it's beautiful. McCree becomes this utility character that sets the stun up, and their friends just come in and deal with the Tracer.
Wow, it's a pretty good strategy.
Yeah.
Let's move on to defensive play. Do you have any general tips for that? Stopping people from capturing a point, stopping the cart from, not the cart, the objective from moving.
The payload. With defense, man, this is, for me, I find a lot, like myself included and a lot of my friends, this is where folks get, I think, a little timid. It's like, well, I don't know, Mei seems kind of tough. No, play Mei. Try her. She's insane.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely insane. And also this idea that you only play defense when you're defending, which I think is also, just not true. A good sniper, period, Hanzo or Widowmaker is going to be a boon to your team. Now, if you're attacking, you probably don't need 3 of them.
Yes.
But, it's Widowmaker on attack it was what I saw a lot of new players complaining about when I was in the closed beta, and it's happening again now that the game is live. And she's actually quite good, especially if you're trying to if it's point capture.
Yeah.
Because if it's point capture, chances are your enemy's going to dig in. They're going to play it. They're going to have a Torbjorn. He's going to build a turret. They're going to have a Bastion. Depending on the time of the day, you might see 3 Bastions and a Torbjorn.
It's true.
And Widowmaker is just the best remedy for dug-in turrets.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's really good. Would Hanzo also work, or does Widowmaker have a bit of an advantage when it comes to clearing out?
I think they're both quite good. And they because Hanzo, if he's shooting well, if he's landing his hits, he's building up his ultimate, and he can fire out his dragon.
Oh yeah,
which will clear out a line wonderfully. So again, if you have your turrets kind of dug in, you just throw that dragon in there and they're gone.
Oh yeah,
and Widowmaker is great because again, if you're landing your hits and you're building up your ultimate, you're granting your entire team sight, which is quite the boon in attack because you can see where everyone else is dug in that you may have not seen around a certain corner or hiding somewhere, behind the bell on Hanamura or something.
I got you. Well, what characters or what heroes would you recommend for new players on defense?
On defense, I honestly want to go for Torbjorn. I feel like Torbjorn and Bastion, they have a bum rap. Newer players get in. I was part of this as well, and they're just dying left and right to turrets.
Oh yeah.
You just need to learn how to maneuver and how to counter them. It's a learning curve, and it's a brutal one at first because these things are just tearing you apart. But Torbjorn and his armor is a really it's a huge boon to the team. It's a great piece of utility. You're effectively giving your team more hit points.
Yeah.
So on top of that, I really like his gun. It has an arc to it, so you can hit people like over a hill.
Nice.
I dig it. So, I mean, his turrets, it speaks for itself. It's already, a very strong piece of equipment in the game. But Torbjorn himself is more effective at fighting than people, I think, give him credit for. And we've seen, just this week, a bunch of statistics have come out, and Symmetra and Torbjorn have the highest win rate. And we were talking about on Overwatchers last night. We're pretty sure it's because for your average player, just having more hit points is huge. Yeah. There's no skill based around it. You just have it. You don't need to do something to live longer. You just can take more hits.
I can see that. I can see it turning the game. If I didn't have $1 for every time Bastion got play of the game, I'd be rich. Just saying.
Yeah, but it's give your Bastion players out there some credit, folks. You still need to know where to position yourself because it's just as easy to just go into sentry mode as Bastion and immediately get mowed down.
And a really well placed Bastion is a pain to take out. There's some really good locations.
Absolutely. And that's where your Reapers and your Tracers can kind of get behind enemy lines if your snipers can't get a line on them. And there's ways. I've even seen Pharah's do it, but oh boy, Pharah, if you're flying around in view of a Bastion, you're tempting him to just mow you down. So you got to be a little more. You have to think outside of the box with Pharah if you're trying to counter Bastion.
I gotcha. Well, let's move on here to defensive players on the offensive. I see often Junkrat. I see Junkrat playing offensive a lot.
I do that quite often.
How much heedance should I give the suggestions for the characters?
I think if you're relatively new to the game, I don't think it's a bad way to look at it, especially when it comes to things like specifically tanks and healers. Because for some reason, I feel your average player aren't necessarily drawn, especially to support. I don't know. Maybe they're not flashing enough. I love support, but although I did look at my statistics the other day, and apparently it is my least played role, so I guess I fall in that category as well. But it depends on what you're playing. If you're playing, point capture, you want something that's going to be able to fight on the point for the most part. Look at your composition. Hit tab, look at your team. Do you have 3 Pharahs that are going to be flying in the air rather than have their boots on the ground and help you capture that thing? All right, maybe don't play a Pharah. Maybe don't play a Widowmaker unless you're confident you can stand on the point and still kill people as Widowmaker, which if you can, more power to you. You should go probably join Cloud9. But it's you just need a lot of times you just need a body.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Junkrat on offense, especially on payload maps, because I like Junkrat because it's like, well, as long as I have something I can duck behind, I can throw out a bunch of grenades, duck behind cover, throw out grenades, lay my traps. And on a payload map, you can just use the payload as your piece of cover.
It's pretty nice. And I find his grenades are pretty good at digging people out from corners.
Yeah, it's this indirect damage. Like, you can attack someone that you cannot see by ricocheting it correctly or lobbing it over a wall that doesn't touch the ceiling.
Yeah. Let's move on here to choice of tank. A good tank can change depending on the map. Do you have any rules of thumb for choosing a tank that's good for a certain map?
Yeah, I don't necessarily go on map. For me, D.Va is my go-to attack tank because of her jet boosters. A lot of myself included, a lot of newer players don't realize you can actually fly when you use her shift ability. When you first use it, it's like, oh, I can just scoot across the ground. But actually, if you aim up, you will just fly up into the air. And so D.Va's really handy. I love attacking on D.Va. Most of her health is armor, and armor actually provides you a damage decrease on every point of damage you take up to a maximum of 5.
Oh, really?
So if you see a lot of tracers, for example, they do small amounts of damage, but in a lot of little attacks very quickly. So D.Va is a wonderful counter. I also like her because when you're attacking, if there's a Widowmaker that's causing trouble, that's taking out your team, you can just fly up to the Widowmaker's perch and deal with her.
Yeah.
And then jump back down and continue the push. So I personally really like D.Va for attack. I really like Roadhog for defense. Kind of similar to how I play Junkrat. I kind of find my Roadhog's lair, if you will, and pop out, hook, kill, go back, heal, pop out, hook, kill, go back, heal. And those are my two. However, Winston is incredible. He's another great attack tank. He's really great at taking points because he provides this bubble shield that can benefit your entire team. Yeah. So great for point capture. Reinhardt is so good at pushing a payload. It's difficult to put into eloquent wording.
You can just sit on the payload with that shield up.
Exactly.
Your team behind you. Yeah.
Yeah. So your buddies can come up behind you and you can watch that payload. If you're the enemy, it's like, oh, Reinhardt's here. It says 1's on the payload and 3's on the payload. Now 5. Okay. The whole team's on the payload behind Reinhardt, which isn't always necessarily smart. Farrah gets overhead. You know, rains justice on you. Not necessarily the best thing in the world, but, Reinhardt's fantastic. And Reinhardt's one of the main reasons Bastion is awesome on offense on payload because you can set your Bastion up on the payload and Reinhardt can protect him with the shield. So, and then Zarya is just I think Zarya is the sleeper. I think she's one of the hardest tanks to get your head around because she has a self shield. She has a shield she can project on a friend. Either of those shields taking damage will actually boost the damage of Zarya's abilities.
Oh, wow.
But she brings so much damage mitigation. Her ultimate is one of the largest pieces of crowd control in the game. And she can fit into, I think, just about any scenario if you know what you're doing with her. But however, I think she's one of the highest kind of learning curve heroes out there.
Yeah. I actually haven't played her. She any fun?
She is, but not my personal go-to because I feel like it's a lot of work. It's like I've got to manage my bubble, got to manage my bubble on my friends. Yeah. And I personally, like, I was just drawn to D.Va from the get-go. I thought it was a super cool idea for a hero, and I do quite well with her. I tend to, if I play D.Va, I tend to win. So it's like, I think I'll just play D.Va. But Zarya is on my list of heroes I want to learn better.
I got you.
Right there with Genji.
Oh, a good Genji can wreck shop, I tell you. Let's move on to healers. I noticed they all have their own unique heal style.
Yes, they're exceptionally unique.
So it really comes down to how you like to heal. So Zenyatta places an orb on one ally, right? And he kind of heals one person at a time. Mercy, I haven't played a lot of Mercy. How does she work?
Mercy, you're healing one person at a time constantly with a beam.
Okay.
It's a beam weapon. It's basically channeled. If you aim your staff at a person and you hold down left click, you'll be healing them. If you hold down right click, you can damage boost them.
Oh, nice.
The beam turns from yellow when it's healing to blue when it's boosting their damage. So she can be great. The thing is Lucio, Symmetra, and Zenyatta can all fight on their own without having to change things up too much. Mercy, however, her primary weapon, her healing staff, cannot deal damage in any way, shape, or form. It can only heal your allies or boost the damage that they're putting out. She has to switch to a pistol, which fires relatively slow to defend herself. So that's the thing to know about Mercy. She's the least offensive of all 4 support heroes.
I gotcha.
Zenyatta's probably the most offensive because his attacks do quite a bit of damage. They're incredibly accurate. So if you're a headshot hero, I highly recommend Zenyatta.
Yeah.
And then Lucio and Symmetra are kind of in between there. Symmetra has a pretty short range channeled weapon, unless you use the right click where you can charge an orb and fire it, but which goes really, I think, infinitely. I don't think it has a max distance, but it travels slow. But the cool thing about that is it actually pierces shields.
Oh, nice.
So if a Reinhardt is pushing and just stupid shield, there's like 5 of them behind him, just charge up your Symmetra ball and just let it loose right through the center of that Reinhardt shield.
Nice. You know, Symmetra earlier doesn't heal but places shields.
Yes.
She's the only hero that does that, right?
Well, Zarya gives heroes shields, but it works slightly different. The thing with Symmetra is those shields that she gives are permanent until the hero the shield is on dies.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And those shields can be healed, and they regenerate over a certain amount of time after you stop taking damage for 3 seconds.
I got
so it's so much stronger than you would think. So Symmetra was one of those supports we saw early on. Again, when everyone was just getting into the beta, there would be a Symmetra and the team would be calling for a healer. It's like, no, we need a healer. It's like, well, we have a Symmetra. No, we need a healer. And that's not necessarily true. I get it to a certain degree. Obviously, you want health coming back to you, but as we mentioned earlier, Symmetra and Torbjorn currently have the highest win rate, and I think a lot of that comes down to just giving your teammates more hit points, and that's what a shield does.
I got you. Well, let's move on to team composition. Choosing like a good team comp can really make or break a game. Like all snipers, when you're attacking, kind of makes things a little rough.
Yes.
But when you're making your game at the beginning of the game, I mean your composition, it does give you hints. You know, like, oh, you need a tank, you need a builder. Are those how much trust should you put into those? Like, are they really helpful? Should you pay a lot of attention, or can you take that as? I
think they are relatively helpful. Again, if you're just coming to the game, it's good to know that, oh, hey, we should probably have a tank and a support. Because everyone's gonna want to play Reaper at some point, right? He looks cool. He's got 2 shotguns. Everyone is gonna gravitate towards the characters that just outright murder their enemies. So I think the game does well to warn you about those things, and those are the warnings you'll probably see the most of, because people don't just immediately go, yeah, I want to hold up a shield all game and not have a gun but a hammer.
Yeah.
Or hey, I want to be the robot monk. Like that doesn't. I don't think that necessarily pulls people in immediately as much as rockets and robot turrets.
Oh, definitely.
So I think that does help, but then to a certain degree, like I said, you start to learn about slightly more complex strategies. Like, oh, we need a sniper on attack to deal with these turrets, like we talked about earlier. You start to pick up on things like that.
I gotcha.
And it can change, and that gets to what I think is so great about Overwatch, which is one of the things that makes it so unique, which is mid-game hero switching. If things are not working out, you can change, you can swap, you can hit that tab button, you can see what your team looks like, what the opposing team looks like, and make an informed decision.
Yeah, it's not quite like Heroes of the Storm, where you're forced with one hero throughout the entire game.
Exactly. Absolutely. Which when I first saw Overwatch, my brain went to MOBA Town. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to pick a thing. And then I tried it at BlizzCon. I'm like, oh, you can swap mid game, because all of a sudden we went from fighting 4 Bastions to 4 Winstons. And I was like, oh, apparently that's a thing.
Let's move on to any tactics in particular that you try to avoid.
I tried to avoid?
Yes.
Just too much hero stacking, honestly.
Too much hero stacking.
As time goes on, you see less and less of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be a good thing. We saw over the weekend at Agents Rising a double Winston, double Tracer attack composition that worked quite well.
Really?
Yeah. Tracer Winston, pretty good on attack, it turns out.
Awesome. So like you mentioned hero stacking. Me and my friends the other day, we did an all Bastion defense, and that was fun. We lost, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, one of the most fun things I've done in the game was during the beta with our buddies. We did an all Winston defense on King's Row, and if you know on King's Row when you're defending, there's kind of that upper portion that you can walk around in where there's windows and whatnot. We hid up there. We let the enemy team come all the way in to the point, stand on the point, and we all rocket jumped in as Winstons, dropped 6 shields, and just started electrocuting everyone to death. And we won that game. Actually,
really?
we locked them out entirely. They didn't take the first point, and it was hilarious.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, wouldn't recommend. That's not a winning strategy. Don't bring that into King's Row every single time. But it's still one of my fondest memories of Overwatch.
That sounds like so much fun. All right, let's move on to the fun questions here. What is your favorite character to play, and why?
Probably D.Va. And it just comes down to that mobility as a tank. It's something that I've been drawn to in games I shouldn't be comparing this to, but say World of Warcraft, where I used to tank. I played a paladin, wasn't very mobile. Heroes of the Storm, my favorite one is Johanna. She's not very mobile.
Yeah.
So I get into Overwatch and I'm just immediately gravitated towards this hot pink robot that can fly everywhere. And it's something about D.Va that is my jam. I love being able to jump out of my suit and leave it to self-destruct. And
yeah, which can clear a point really easily.
Yes. Yeah. It's great. And I like that game that I have to play with myself, which is, all right, what's the line of sight issues where I'm about to drop my bomb?
Yeah.
Like if you break line of sight, it doesn't do any damage to you. So, one of my favorite things is just like, I'm just going to fly right on top of the payload and drop it there. There's no line of sight issues. Like, I love that. It makes me feel great.
Yeah. It makes people scatter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, if I didn't kill anyone, at least I open things up momentarily, and you start to see people dropping just because they got out of whatever cover they were in. So for me, it's definitely D.Va, and honestly, probably below that, coming in close second is Bastion. I'm on the campaign trail for Bastion. I feel he gets a bum rap. I think it does take quite a bit of skill to play him correctly. It's all about, it's this positioning war and knowing when it's cool to plant your flag and do your business, and when other times you need to get the hell out of Dodge and heal yourself.
Yeah. He is a lot of fun to play.
Yeah. I really enjoy Bastion.
Yeah. All right. Last question here. I would argue that Overwatch at the moment has 2.5 game modes, because there's the capture point, there is the payload escort, but then they have maps where they combine the two.
Yeah.
What game mode would you like if you could add any game mode, like deathmatch, capture the flag? What would you add?
I would like to see what capture the flag would look like, because I feel like with the existence of Tracer, it becomes problematic.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I think it'd be interesting to see what rules they could come up with. Like maybe if you blink, you drop it.
I could see that.
Kind of interesting, where all of a sudden a Tracer's just not the best flag carrying hero. I almost think if you were designing it, you'd have to using any type of movement increasing ability would make you drop it, except I don't know, maybe Lucio. And I'm okay with that, because then there's this kind of, you're getting in that game mode. It's like, oh well, Lucio is way better here than he necessarily is in other game modes. And I'm not saying he's weak currently. But other than that, I don't know. I just know I don't want deathmatch.
Yeah. I think skirmish does a good job right now.
If you even see it. I mean, I saw it a ton in the beta, but I think I've seen it once since the game went live, and I think it was when we had a full 6-stack team. Mm-hmm. So you don't see skirmish a whole lot, but I'm not interested in a deathmatch mode really at all. But I would be really curious to see how they do a capture the flag, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever item they end up making it.
I got you. Well, all right. Well, I think that's it. I think we're done here. Thank you again. Thank you again for doing this. It was a lot of fun. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
Oh, well, all over the place. Like I said earlier, you can find me over at amove.tv. That's amove.tv. That's the main home base for every podcast that I do. And you can follow me on Twitter at Garrett Art.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think we're done. Awesome. All right. Thanks again.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, Mike. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Hey everyone, I really hope you enjoyed that segment. It was a lot of fun to record. Garrett was amazing, and thanks again for him for doing this segment with us. It was awesome, and I really hope you learned a lot. Again, you can find all of his stuff at amove.tv. He does a lot of awesome podcasts. A lot of them I really enjoy listening to. They're pretty cool. I definitely recommend checking them out. Just some stuff before we go here. You can contact the show through the email collegegamershow@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter through the handle BlueCowz with a Z, BLUECOWZ. Taft's Twitter is TaftFaust8. You can find the show on Facebook, the College Gamers Podcast. It's a Facebook page. And if you enjoy the show, you should rate us on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. It helps more people see our show. It's more discoverable on iTunes and other podcast directories. So if you enjoy the show, please do that. We'd be very grateful. Also, maybe tell a friend. If you know people who enjoy listening to podcasts or just like video games in general. And I believe that's it. Again, no show next week because we're doing some E3 funsies. And that's going to be really exciting. I hope people enjoy that. I've never hosted more than one person before, so it's going to be crazy. So I look forward to it. And yeah, so thank you for listening. And we again won't see you next week, but the week after we're going to rip E3 apart like a bunch of hungry wolves. I don't know where I'm going, so I'm going to stop before I continue. Thank you for listening, and have a good one. Later. Blue Cow Radio.